Um, okay, we're recording. So, welcome to Sprint 3. My contributions for this sprint were to merge styling into all of the screens that were created in Sprint 2. And as you can see, so this is the menu that Aaron made, and my job was to go into each screen and apply the styling that I had created in the previous sprint. So as you can see, the styling was applied and I did it to all the buttons, and some of the navigation is working, which was not my contribution, but I basically, yeah, that's about it. Applied styling to every single page. I'll go through all of them. Here's the map view. I applied the heading to each one and made it so that, all the text works, and made this menu work. And this is going to represent the drawer menu that's going to come from the side. And then, so here's the button, navigates to photo page, create pin. So yeah, I applied the styling. As you can see, every single page in the app is now styled and is a basic shell for what we're going to need to start filling in the gaps and actually making them functional. Okay, so for Sprint 3, so we started Sprint 3 by merging master into this new branch that I had created, Sprint 3 feature bsarian merge styling. And the whole point of this branch was basically to take all the styling that I had made in Sprint 2 and start implementing it into the pages that Kyle, Rebecca, and Aaron had created in Sprint 2. So I started off by merging the branches and then started to merge the pages and the styling. So you can see it's just basic things like making sure that all the imports were right, starting to change some of the styles to be form style, etc., etc., instead of just styles, the generic one that they had been using for testing. So going into each of these pages and, changing capitalizations just to make sure everything was working. Let's see. Continued, so continued to merge styling. It's a lot of the same things, applying the header style to each of the pages, etc. Starting to apply styling to screens 1 through 3. So that would have been login, reset password, and user or create account things. And then, changing the text fields to look and feel like how we want it to. Changing some of the coloring, the text size, keyboard appearance, things like that. And then kind of continued applying the style to more screens, blah, blah, blah. Finished screen styling. So this was the last one for this branch where I finished applying everything to all the screens, and so all of them had the styling the way we wanted it. Now, this sprint for me didn't end here. I ended up actually creating a new branch called Merge Styling and Nav. And this was to merge what Cecilia had been working on with what I had done to all the screens. So Cecilia had been working on the navigation as well as components. So I took all of her work and then merged the two together to create a new branch. And then initial merge of branches, this was basically just like changing file names and making sure everything lined up to merge heading style. So I went through and changed all of the styling for the headings. Or basically just took her heading component and put the right colors on. And then, so this one was basically just taking her drawer or like side menu component and her navigation and putting the screens to that navigation. which she did a great job at. So yeah, and then that went up until Sunday, and then I worked on a little bit of something yesterday, but it didn't really, or today rather, but it didn't really pan out. Lastly, so I'm going to show you the team Gantt. So this past sprint, I was supposed to be doing merging styling, which I did, and it came out to probably probably a little bit more than 16 hours, but I logged 16 hours, which is a safe estimate. And it was supposed to take 12, but it took a little bit longer just because there were a lot of screens to do. And I felt like it was pretty important to get the screens done before going on to the next sprint, because it was going to be so instrumental in having those shells to be able to start actually, like, you know, connecting it to the database and basically, you know, have something to work with as we're trying to test things. And then going into sprint 4, I'll be working on image database. So it's estimated to be about 12 hours, and I'm foreseeing it being longer. But this next sprint, I'll be working on mainly research and then just beta testing which databases would be good to store our images. Because from what Nico has told us, as we had a meeting with him a couple weeks ago, and also just Erin's experiences with working with a database and images, she said that, or it's well known that Mongo is not a great place to store images in a database. So we want to start learning what would be the best way to be able to store images, because our app is going to require a lot of image storage. We want to get that squared away. So yeah, that was my sprint 3, and I'm excited to get into sprint 4.